Okay, so today we are going to start sixth unit, which is the last unit. So we have been doing this quite well. So first 5 units we have finished, and as far as the IoT is concerned, you might have been got an idea now what IoT is about, how IoT works, what are the protocols for the IoTs. You have also studied different internet protocols, application protocols. So now in this series, we are going to see the last unit. And this unit is about the cloud platforms for IoT. This is for the cloud platforms for the IoT. Now, for the cloud platforms for the IoT, we are going to study few concepts called as API, and our IoT cloud architecture. Then we are going to see the cloud service models. So these are the three concepts we are going to see today in case of this sixth unit called as cloud platforms for IoT. So what are the cloud platforms that are available for IoT is the main concerned topic about this one. So you have already known what is cloud. You have already know what IoT is about, that is Internet of Things. So now we are going to see how these cloud platforms for IoT work out to be. So let us start with the first concept called as API. Now, what is this API? This API is nothing but it is about when the things talks with each other, when objects talk with each other. That is the first concept we have seen in first 2 units, that how the things and how the objects talk with each other, and that is called as the Internet of Things. Now in this, we are going to also see that how the software talks with each other. How if two software programs are going to talk to each other, then what concept we are going to do that, and that concept is called as API. API is nothing but the application programming interface. So it is an program interface. So whatever the program that has been written for the applications, their interfacing is called as API. This API is the code that allows two software programs to communicate with each other. So to communicate with each other, they should be able to understand each other. So when they understand, they can easily communicate with each other. So that is what the API does. An API defines the correct way for the developer to request the services from operating system or any other applications and expose the data within different contexts and across multiple channels. This is what the API defines. It is the correct way for the developer to request the services from the operating system. API, any data can be shared with an API. So through API, when two programs communicate with each other, then they can share the data very easily. API are implemented by function calls composed of verbs and nouns. The required syntax is described in the documentation of application being called. The APIs are made up of two related elements. Now, so what are the related elements that we are going to see? The first is the specification that describes how the information is exchanged between the programs. So first is the specification that describes how the information is exchanged between two programs, done in the form of request for processing and return of the necessary data. So एक program दूसरे program को बोलता है कि मैं data भेज रहा हूँ, और दूसरा program उसको reply करता है and gives the necessary data back to the first one. So first one is one software program, the other one is software program. First one gives some information to the program number 2, and then it returns the necessary data to the software program 1. So in this way they communicate with each other. So first is nothing but the specification that describes how information is exchanged between programs, how information is exchanged between the programs. And programs done in the form of request for processing and return of the necessary data. So this is the first one. Second one is the software interface. Abhi software to software interface return to that specifications. So जो program software का लिखा हुआ है ये सब करने के लिए, and specifications for writing that and publishing in some way for use is the second. So first is the specification that describes how information is exchanged between two programs. Second is the software interface that is written for the specifications, for that specifications. So सीधी सी बात है, पहला जो है वो specification है जो बताता है कि how information is exchanged between the programs, और दूसरा जो है वो software interface है जो उस specifications के लिए लिखा हुआ है. The software that wants to access the features and capabilities of the API is said to call it. So the software that wants to access the features and capability of the API, that is called as call, and the software that creates the API is called as publish. So two things you have to understand here is the software that wants to access the features and capabilities of the API, जो software को API के features और capabilities लेने हैं उसको हम call बोलते हैं, and the software that creates API is called as publish. APIs authorize and grant access to data. APIs authorize and grant access to data that is requested by the user and the application. So user जो भी access के लिए बोलता है, API authorize करता है और grant करता है उस data को लेने के लिए. API also provides the audit trail that details the system access, who or what and when. Now you'll be getting the clear picture from this diagram that where is that API actually located, where is the API, how does it work out. So अगर आप initially देखोगे तो there are apps in browsers, mobile devices and IoTs. So that sends a request through the internet to the API, and the API is connected with the web server. This API gives a response to that devices or IoTs. This API is connected to the web server, which is connected to the database. So what actually API is here? It is not the database, not even the server, but it is the code that governs the access point for the server. So server point के लिए एक access point जरूरी होता है, वो API काम करता है. So you can see the information that is requested to the API that is been connected with the web server, through which it is given back to that API apps in the browsers or the mobile devices. So it is not at all a database, not even the web servers, but yes, it is the code that governs the access point for the server. So you might have got a clear idea where the API stands for. The most common architectures for API are representational state transfer, that is REST, and simple object access protocol, that is SOAP, which defines a standard communication protocol specification for XML based message exchange. So architecture is representational state transfer and SOAP. Both of these architecture defines a standard communication protocol that for XML based message exchange. So message को exchange करने के लिए जो common architecture दोनों में है वो है REST और वो है SOAP, which defines a standard communication protocol specifications for XML based message exchange. SOAP requires less low level infrastructure related than does the REST. So SOAP को कम infrastructure लगता है as compared to the REST. But REST APIs are easier to scale and redeploy, simpler to implement and integrate websites and servers. So as far as the SOAP is concerned, it requires less low infrastructure related that as compared to the REST. But REST APIs are quite easier to scale and redeploy, simpler to implement and integrate websites and services. The current industry trend is large to use REST APIs, particularly for the web interactions. So ज़्यादा REST API ही use होते हैं web interactions के लिए. So API के अंदर ज़्यादा REST APIs इस्तेमाल होते हैं. APIs are nothing but the code. We know that it is a code that has been written that gives an access point to the server for the server. APIs are also essentially set of rules. So The code that is been written is written on the part of set of rules. By setting the set rules, the codes are written. They can improve an organization's internal development process by standardizing how developers write application code using same rules and format. So particularly this can be helpful in for particular organization's internal development process, that is by standardizing how developers write application code with same rules and format. So उसके लिए एक rules set किया जा सकता है और वो internal organizations के improvement के लिए बहुत काम में आ सकता है. There are 4 types of APIs that are available. The first one is a private, second is a public, third is a partner, and fourth is the composite APIs. So there are 4 types of APIs. APIs can be further classified as local, web, or program APIs. So they can be again further classified based on the programs, that is local, web, or program APIs. The data structure and parameter values are of particular importance because they must watch between caller of an API and publisher. So we know that what is call and what is publish. So the data structure and parameter values are of very particular important because they have to see a match between caller and publisher. So caller is nothing but, you know, that you can go back to the caller, what is call. You can see this. The software that wants to access the features and capabilities are called as caller, and software that creates API is called as publisher. So that means the data structure and parameter values are of particular importance because they have to match between the caller of an API and its publisher. So दोनों के बीच में match होना चाहिए caller और publisher के बीच में, इसीलिए data structure और parameter values are very important. Strong security is also an important aspect of API design. Obviously, this is also going to be very much important. Now, examples. Many software products and tools deliver functionalities via APIs. They develop tools such as Docker, Jenkins, and GitLab. These are the examples of API. So first is the many software products and tool deliver functionalities. So many software and products and tools deliver functionalities via API. So API के मदद से ये वो करते हैं. The developer tools can be Docker, Jenkins, and GitLab. These are the developer tools. Social media take advantages of open APIs to create news feed and share photos. So with the help of APIs, social media takes advantages as they can create news feeds as well as share the photos. The internet is currently a primary driver for APIs, and the companies such as Facebook, Google, and Yahoo publish APIs to encourage third-party developers to build on their capabilities. So this is also very important. These are some of the examples of API that is been using. Now you can see the IoT cloud architecture. You can see that there are devices on the left side, which might be the mobiles, computers. So they are been connected to the cloud, and this connectivity can be through Wi-Fi, Zigbee, and various other connectivity. Then when it is going to the cloud, it is going through the APIs. So what we have been studying about. So it could be through the REST or REST APIs, then through the MQTT, through COAP, and through custom. And then it is given to the storage. The rules are written for that, and then the data is given for the application purpose. So data push and data pull can be done through the application process. So clear cut is that in between the cloud, you can see that where the REST API is standing. So in those parameters also, the REST APIs, MQTT, COAP, and custom are having the same kind of functions, same kind of role they play while connecting to the devices and developing the applications. So उससे और आगे जाना है तो ये फिगर और क्लियर कट बोलता है. So you can see on the left side is the field IoT devices. So device 1, device 2, device 3, device 4, it will continue. These devices will be given to the MQTT cluster. So this is again an application protocol. Through this, the data is streamed through the service 1, service 2, service 3, service 4. Then these will be connected to the REST API endpoints. So here the application program interface will come, which will be connected to the third party APIs, mobile APIs, apps, web apps, or data lake. So this is how the API is going to play the role in the IoT cloud architecture. Further again, if we see in detail that the IoT cloud architecture, where the role is of where the role is of there are sensor layers, network layers, then the cloud method and application layer. So in case of application layer, you can see the e-governance, helpline emergency, public safety, environment, smart buildings, smart transport, smart communications, education, healthcare, big data, IoT platforms. So these are in the application layers, whereas above application layer there is a command and control center. Now, in case of cloud or bar method, you have three types of methods. One is IaaS, second is PaaS, third is SaaS. One more is there, NaaS also is there. We can see these are the things that the cloud methods that have been applied here. So we are going to see in detail as we go on further. Then in network layer, you had a wired, that is optical fiber, copper based, XDCL, Ethernet cable, etc. Then the second is a wireless long range licensed, that is open 2G, 3G, LTE categories. Then wireless short range unlicensed open like Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Bluetooth, BLE, and Z-Wave. Then for the wireless long range, LoRa, Sigfox, RPMA, Newell. And then you can see the sensor layer where the sensing is carried out through different sensors and the devices. So this is the IoT cloud architecture. Now the cloud service models we are going to see in detail. This cloud providers typically support a range of everything as services, that is called as XaaS. So that X is going to be replaced by different parameters. The first one is NaaS, which is called as networking as service. Service such as software defined networking, that is SNN, and software defined parameters, SDP, are typically of NaaS. These products are cloud managed and organized mechanism for providing overlay network and enterprise security. Cloud approach can be used to form a vertical network. This allows for the network to optimally scale resources up or down based on demand and based on new features that can be purchased and deployed rapidly. So this is about the SNN and SDP. So SNN is a software defined network, and second SDP is a software defined parameters. This defines actually NaaS. These products are cloud managed and organized mechanism for providing overlay networks and enterprise security. Cloud approach can be used to form a vertical network. Second one is SaaS, that is a software as a service. It is the foundation of a cloud computing. So the cloud computing which we are seeing nowadays, this has been based on the SaaS, that is software as service. It is the foundation of a cloud computing. A provider usually has application or services on offer that expose themselves to end users through client or framework on other clouds. From user point of view, the SaaS layer is virtually running on their client. So it is virtually running on their client. This software abstraction has enabled the industry to achieve substantial growth in the cloud. SaaS survive include which name brand appliances such as Google APS, Salesforce, Microsoft Office 366. So ये जो applications है वो SaaS के है. That is a software as service. First one is a networking as service. Second one is a software as a service. Third one is platform as a service. So this PaaS refers to underlying hardware and lower layer software facilities provided by the cloud. So it is related with the hardware and lower layer software facilities. In this case, the end user simply uses providers data center hardware, OS, middleware, and assorted framework to host their private applications or services. Middleware may be composed of database system. Many industries have been composed of database systems. Many industries have been built using cloud providers community and hardware such as Swedbank, Trek Bicycles, and Toshiba. Examples of past providers are IBM Bluemix, Google App Engine, and Microsoft Azure. So these are some of the examples of PaaS, which is called as the platform as a service. Then the last in this service pro models is the infrastructure as a service. It was an original concept of cloud service. In this model, the provider builds scalable hardware services in the cloud and provides a modicum of the software frameworks to build client virtual machines. This offers the most flexible in deployment but requires more lifting on the part of a customer. So this is called as the infrastructure as services. Now, beyond this client server model and within the cloud environment, there stands three different models of cloud topologies. So these are private, public, and hybrid. Now, what is a private cloud? In a private cloud, the infrastructure is provisioned for single organization or corporation. यानी कि इस private cloud में infrastructure is provisioned only for single organization or corporation. There is no concept of resource sharing or pooling outside of the owner's own infrastructure. So इसके बाहर जाकर कोई उसको शेयर नहीं कर सकता या फिर उसको बाहर नहीं लेके जा सकता है. That resources will be no concept of resource sharing. That means that resource which will be on that cloud will not be shared or pooling outside of the owner's own infrastructure. जैसे हम बाहर शेयर कर सकते हैं वहां से दूसरा भी ले सकता है इंफॉर्मेशन, वैसा नहीं होता है. विद इन द प्रेमाइसेस शेयरिंग एंड पूलिंग आर कॉमन. यानी उसका प्रेमाइसेस से अंदर के अंदर आप शेयर कर सकते हैं, पूल कर सकते हैं, मगर उस प्रेमाइसेस से बाहर आप पूल नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि वो पब्लिक नहीं है, वो प्राइवेट है. सो दैट विल बी शेयर्ड ओनली विद इन द प्रेमाइसेस. Now second is a public cloud. Now it is an opposite situation as compared to the private cloud. So public cloud बिल्कुल private cloud के opposite है. The infrastructure is provisional on demand for a multitude of customers and applications. So जो infrastructure है वो सभी को provide किया गया है within the premises as well as outside the premises. The infrastructure is pool of resources anyone can use at any time as a part of their service agreement. So this is private and public cloud. The advantage of the public cloud is that the sheer scale of cloud data centers allow the unprecedented scalability for many customers who are only limited to how much service they wish to purchase. So the advantage is that there is a sheer scale of cloud data centers, so that allow the unprecedented scalability for many customers who are only limited how much service they wish to purchase. So according to their services, they are having the unlimited scalability, unprecedented scalability of the customers. And the third one is a hybrid cloud. The hybrid architecture is a combination of a private and public. So it is a combination of private and public. Such combinations may be multiple public clouds used simultaneously or combination of public or private cloud infrastructure. And the organization tends to favor the hybrid model if sensitive data needs and unique management. इसका क्लियर कट मैं बोलता हूं कि there are three ways of topologies of as far as the cloud service is concerned. One is private, second is public, and third one is hybrid. Now, as far as private is concerned, there is premises of the data. So you can share your data or pool your data within that premises only. You cannot pool it outside the premises, and henceforth we can say that it is a private. As far as private cloud is concerned, you can share that data or you can pool that data within the premises, outside the premises. So according to that, the unprecedented scalability for the customers occurs. Now, as far as hybrid is concerned, it's a combination of private as well as public. So in this case, what happens is that you can share the data within the premises also, as well as outside the premises also. But you have to take care that the sensitive data needs to be protected, because ऐसा ना हो जाए कि जो sensitive data है वो misuse ho. So for that thing, hybrid cloud makes a favor of hybrid model if sensitive data needs an unique management. So accordingly, the private, public, and hybrid clouds are defined. So this is how the cloud service models are. We'll revise once again. So what are the APIs? API is nothing but they are the application program interface that allows the two software programs to communicate with each other. Then the API defines the correct way for the developer to request services from operating system or other applications and expose the data within different contexts. Any data can be shared within an API. The API are implemented by function calls composed of verbs and nouns. The required syntax is described in documentation and application being called. They are made up of two related elements. The first is the specification that describes how information is exchanged between the programs. Second is the software interface that is written for that specifications and published in some way for use. There are two things. One is a caller and second is a publisher. That the software that wants to access the features and capabilities of the API is set when a software needs to access the features and capabilities that are called as call, and software that creates API that is called as publish. The APIs authorize and grant access to the data that is requested by the user and the other application. So you can the APIs authorize and give grant access to the data. API also provide the audit trail that details the systems access who or what and when. So this is the API model, which you can see that there are different apps in the browser, mobile devices and IoTs that request the API through the internet, and the API is connected to the web server and in turn is connected with a database. So API gives and response through internet to those devices accordingly. So API is not only is not about the database or even not about the server, but it is the code that governs the access point for the server. The most common architecture for the API are a representational state transfer and SOAP, that is simple object access protocol. SOAP requires less low-level infrastructure as compared to REST, but the REST APIs are much more easier to scale and redeploy as far as implement and integrate websites and services. The current industry trend is largely with the REST APIs. The APIs are essentially written as a code, but the code is written with set of rules. They can be helpful in improving the internal development process by standardizing how developers write application code using same rules and format. There are mostly four types of API, that is private, public, partner, and composite APIs. APIs can be also further classified as a local, web, or program APIs. The data structure and parameter values are important because they must match between the caller and publisher of an API. Strong security is also a very important aspect of API design. Examples of API is many software products and tools deliver functionalities via API. Example, Docker, Jenkins, GitLab. Social media also take advantages of open APIs to create news feeds as well as share photos. The internet is currently the primary driver for the APIs, and companies such as Facebook, Google, Yahoo publish APIs to encourage third-party developer to build on their capabilities. This is how the IoT cloud architecture works out to be. So you can see that there are devices, sensors that have been connected to the cloud with the help of Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Bluetooth. When they are connected with that, they are currently dealing with the REST APIs or MQTTs or COAPs or customs. So you can see that the REST is the application programming interface through which it has been dealing with the rules that has been written and for the storing, and then it has been data push and pull from the applications. So these are some of the more advanced what IoT cloud architecture with the help of API. You can see that there are a number of devices, that is field IoT devices connected with MQTT cluster, where the data streaming can be done with the help of the database which are connected. The services are connected to the REST API. You can see that the services are not only connected to the databases, but the services are also connected with the API endpoints. And these API endpoints are then connected to the third-party apps or mobile apps, web apps, and data links. So in between, see, the first is a field IoT device. In between, there is an IoT cloud applications, and then the downstream consumer applications. So these are the IoT cloud architecture as far as the service models are concerned. So you can see that there are three service models, the IaaS, the PaaS, and SaaS. There is a sensor layer, network layer, and the cloud layer comes there, the third layer, and then the application layer, and beyond that, command and control center. So the network as a service is nothing but the service such as software defined networking and software defined parameters are typically of NAS. SaaS, it is the foundation of a cloud computing. A provider usually has applications or services that offers to expose themselves to the end user through client or framework on the other clouds. From user point of view, the SaaS layer is virtually running on the client. And the applications of the SaaS are the Google APS, Salesforce, Microsoft Office 365, etc. Then platform as services refers to the underlying hardware and lower layer software facilities provided by the cloud. In this case, the end user simply uses providers, data center hardware, OS, middleware, and assorted framework. Middleware may be composed of database system. Many industries have been built using cloud providers, community hardware such as Swedbank, Trek, Bicycles, and Toshibas. Example of the past is IBM Bluemix, Google App Engine, and Microsoft Azure. So Google App Engine is mainly based on PaaS. IaaS is nothing but originally concept of cloud services. In this model, the provider builds scalable hardware services in the cloud and provides a modicum of the software framework to build client virtual machines. This offers the most flexible in deployment but requires more lifting on the part of customer. Then obviously there are three types of cloud models as far as the topologies is concerned, different models of cloud topologies. One is a private, second one is a public, and third one is a hybrid. Now, as far as private is concerned, the data can be shared only within the premises. Within the premises, the data can be shared and pooled within the premises. It cannot be shared outside the premises. As well as the public is concerned, here the data can be shared outside the premises. And the infrastructure is a pool of resources anyone can use at any time as a part of the service agreement. But as far as the hybrid is concerned, the hybrid is having the combination of private and public. So the data can be shared as well as pulled within the premises as well as outside the premises. Only they have to take care that the sensitive data needs to give a unique management, or we could say that it should be provide the protection to that sensitive data. That is only the most important thing. And this is how the API is about. So hello. Hello. So should we take attendance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Roll number 1, roll number 2,
Yes, sir.
3,
Yes, sir.
4,
Yes, sir.
5, 6,
Yes, sir.
7, 8,
Yes, sir.
9, 10, 11, 12,
Yes, sir.
13, 14,
Yes, sir.
15, 16, 17,
Yes, sir.
18,
Present, sir.
19, 20, 21, 22,
Yes, sir.
23, 24,
Yes, sir.
25, 26, 27, 26 is there, 27,
25.
25, 27, 28, 29, 30,
Present, sir.
31,
Present, sir.
32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37,
Yes,
38,
sir.
37, 38, 39, 40,
Yes, sir.
39 is there, 40, 40 is there, 41, 42, 43, 44,
Present, sir.
43, 42, 43. Which is the number?
Yes, sir.
42,
43 present.
43, 44.
43.
Ah, right. Got it. 44, 45.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. 46,
yes, sir.
47, 48.
Yes, sir.
46 present, sir.
46. 48.
48. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
49.
Present, sir.
49 is present. 50, 51, 52,
Present.
53,
Yes, sir.
54, 55,
Present.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60,
Yes,
61,
sir.
60 is there, 61, 62. Okay, any other number remaining?
Sir, 16 is present.
16 is present. Okay. Any other? Is it okay? Okay. Thank you.